There comes a moment when everything you once wanted suddenly loses its shine. The car you dreamed about doesn't move you. The attention you chased feels empty. The lifestyle you thought would make you happy now feels heavy. That's not depression. That's a sign of spiritual awakening. When your consciousness rises, material desire doesn't die out of effort. It dissolves out of understanding. You start realizing that what you were chasing was never what you were truly searching for. Spiritual awakening isn't about rejecting the world. It's about seeing through it. You begin to notice how every material desire promises freedom, but ends up creating attachment. You buy something new, feel a temporary high, and then fall back into the same emptiness, searching again. This endless cycle keeps the modern world spinning. More things, more validation, more noise. But when your awareness expands, you see the trap. You realize you've been trying to fill a spiritual void with physical things. It's like pouring water into a bottomless cup. At first it feels confusing. You might ask yourself, why don't I care about the things everyone else wants? You might even feel guilty, like you're losing ambition. But you're not losing ambition. You're evolving it. What once motivated you from ego now inspires you from awareness. You no longer want to impress people. You want to express truth. You no longer chase things, you build meaning. The same energy that used to fuel desire now fuels purpose. As your consciousness grows, you notice how material desires are built on illusions. You see how marketing makes you believe you're incomplete. Every ad whispers, you're not enough until you buy this. And for years you believed it. You worked hard, got things, but still felt empty. Spiritual awakening flips that script. You start realizing it's not that you're not enough, it's that you've been taught to forget you already are. When you awaken, the emptiness that once drove you now becomes clarity. You stop buying illusions and start living truths. Think about it. When you were younger, your happiness came from simple moments: laughter, peace, connection. None of those required possessions. But as you grew up, society convinced you that joy must be earned through material success. Awakening breaks that spell. You rediscover joy not as something you buy, but as something you remember. You start to see that happiness isn't in what you have, but in how deeply you experience what's already here. But here's the twist. Awakening doesn't make you hate material things. You can still enjoy them. You can still want nice things. The difference is they no longer own you. You don't chase them for identity. You choose them for experience. You're no longer emotionally attached to outcomes. You can lose everything and still feel grounded, because your sense of worth no longer depends on what's outside you. That's freedom most people never reach, and that's why the awakened often look calm even in chaos. Material desire thrives on comparison. It feeds on the idea that you must outdo others to feel significant. Spiritual awakening kills that hunger, not by forcing detachment, but by revealing truth. You realize that no one's ahead or behind. Everyone's on their own timeline. The moment that truth sinks in, competition loses power. You stop measuring your life through someone else's highlight reel. You start moving from alignment instead of anxiety. That's when real abundance begins, not the kind you can count, but the kind you can feel. When you awaken, you start noticing how everything you once wanted was a mirror of something deeper you were missing: safety, love, recognition. You chased money to feel secure. You wanted status to feel worthy. You wanted relationships to feel whole. But awakening exposes the illusion. Those feelings were never outside you. They were always waiting for you to notice them within. The outer chase ends because the inner discovery begins. There's a reason why people who go through spiritual awakening often simplify their lives. It's not minimalism as an aesthetic. It's minimalism as clarity. You no longer collect things, you collect peace. You no longer want to be seen everywhere. You want to feel yourself fully. Life slows down, but it gets richer. You start to enjoy silence, nature, real conversations. Things that once felt boring now feel sacred. Because awakening changes your definition of value, from how much to how deep. At this stage, you begin to see how desire is not evil, it's energy. Before awakening, that energy moved downward, toward possession, control, validation. After awakening, it moves upward, toward creativity, service, and consciousness. You start creating not to get something, but to give something. You start working not just for profit, but for purpose. It's the same life, but a different vibration. You're no longer surviving the system. You're transcending it from within. But here's what surprises most people. Awakening doesn't make life easier at first. In fact, it often feels harder. You're letting go of identities that once defined you. You're questioning your goals, your relationships, your entire direction. The old you is dissolving, and the new you hasn't fully formed yet. That in-between space can feel lonely. But that's the sacred part. You're not losing yourself, you're shedding what was never you. The more illusions you let go of, the lighter you become. Then one day you realize you're no longer trying to escape emptiness, because emptiness itself feels peaceful. You can sit in silence without restlessness. You can watch others chase and still feel still inside. That's the hidden power of awakening. It doesn't remove you from the world, it removes the world's grip on you. You can still live fully, dream big, achieve much, but now you do it with awareness, not attachment. This is why spiritual awakening kills material desire, not because desire is bad, but because truth is better. Once you taste inner peace, external noise loses its flavor. You realize no car, no house, no fame can match the calm of being aligned with your higher consciousness. That's when you stop living to prove and start living to be. But make no mistake, this new way of living doesn't mean becoming passive or careless. In fact, you become more focused than ever. Because now your actions come from clarity, not craving. You work smarter, not harder. You create with intention, not desperation. You start attracting the right people, opportunities, and experiences, not because you're lucky, but because you've become aligned. That's the real manifestation, not getting what you want, but becoming who no longer needs to chase it. If you look around, you'll notice. Those who are truly at peace aren't necessarily the richest. They're the ones who mastered the art of contentment. They've discovered that joy is not the result of abundance, it's the foundation of it. When you no longer need to have more, you naturally attract what's meant for you, because energy flows towards stillness. That's the paradox of awakening. When you stop grasping, things start coming effortlessly. And when you reach that level, even your relationship with money changes. You respect it, but you don't depend on it for happiness. You can lose it and still smile. You can earn it and not feel superior. Money becomes a tool, not a trophy. You understand that true wealth is a state of being, not a state of having. That's when abundance becomes sustainable, because it's no longer about greed, it's about gratitude. Over time, this detachment opens up a new kind of clarity. You begin to notice that your desires aren't disappearing, they're transforming. You no longer want things to fill you. You want things that reflect you. You might still enjoy luxury, but you enjoy it consciously. You might still chase success, but now it's infused with purpose. You've stopped running after happiness because you've realized it's walking beside you. Every awakened person reaches this crossroad, the moment where having more doesn't make sense anymore. You stop asking them, what can I get? And start asking, yeah, what can I give? You start measuring life by depth instead of digits. That's the ultimate upgrade, from success to significance. When material desire dies, peace is born. You no longer wake up anxious to achieve more. You wake up grateful to be more. Life becomes less about collecting things and more about collecting moments that make your soul feel alive. You stop chasing approval and start honoring authenticity. You stop trying to fit into the world and start letting the world fit around your truth. That's when awakening stops being an idea and becomes a way of living. So if you've been feeling disconnected from things you once loved, don't panic. You're not broken, you're breaking free. That numbness you feel isn't the end. It's the doorway. It's your higher consciousness pulling you toward what's real, what's lasting, what's you. And once you walk through that doorway, there's no going back. The things that once distracted you will no longer hold you. You'll start craving depth, truth, simplicity, because you've tasted what peace feels like, and nothing material can compete with that flavor. If this connected with you, thank you for watching until the end. Like and subscribe, not for the algorithm, but because this space is made for minds like yours. Minds that seek depth in a shallow world. Minds that know the difference between pleasure and peace. Stay awake, stay aware. Your higher consciousness is already guiding you.